Today on the channel, we head to Clearwater, Florida, beautiful this time of year, to go visit Hulk Hogan's Beach Shop with Ringside Collectibles and Mattel Mega Powers Launch Party Figure Reveals.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back to the channel for another Mattel Reveals video. It feels like we just did this the other day because we did just do this the other day. Of course, on Black Friday, Mattel announced a bunch of new reveals, a bunch of new figures on Black Friday on the WWE website, of course. They had the old usual crew there of Sam Roberts. Who knew the Boogeyman was going to be there? And then Johnny Gargano. And we did do a recap video on Black Friday of all those different reveals that we got from that very video. But the hits keep on coming, as today on Monday, Cyber Monday as some people do call it, we got more reveals as Hulk Hogan's Beach Shop was the place to be in Clearwater, Florida, as the Mattel team of Bill and Steve and the Ringside Collectibles crew all headed down to Florida for even more reveals and to present the Hulkster with the Mega Powers 2-pack, which if you haven't seen that one, man, check out that video. That Mega Powers 2-pack is absolutely amazing. But they also brought along some of the things that were revealed on last Friday, some new things, some new stuff, and got to see the actual prototypes there at the table. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this like we do all the other reveal videos here on the channel. As I got my handy dandy iPad, we're going to go off of Ringside Collectibles Instagram account, and Ringside Collectibles, of course, use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%, as a lot of this stuff will be up for pre-order very soon, so stay tuned for that. But of course, discount code Kyle saves you 10%. Got to get a deal all day long. But let's bust into it. Let's bust into all these reveal pictures. A lot of cool stuff. A lot of stuff I'm really excited for. Doesn't take a lot to get me excited, but some really cool stuff was shown and revealed today, and stuff we knew that was coming. We finally saw action figure photos of live and in person, I guess, through the power of the internet. But let's start it off here, and we got one, a tag team. Some would say the greatest tag team of all time. I'm not quite ready to go that far. I'm not going to, I'll give them top 10 for now. Top 10 for now. But we got the Usos here, and the Usos coming back once again to the Elite line. A little bit usual Uso fare here. We've seen the bottom. We've seen like these bodies reused many times, like we do see a lot of other ones. We need the Red Shoes Usos, though. Red Shoe, brother in arms. You guys know I love my Red Shoes as well. But we did see the Usos right here, and very fitting, of course, the Usos. I guess as of right now, the longest running tag team champions in WWE history, so very fitting they get elites, of course. Here's another one that's going to upset a lot of collectors out there. It is what it is. We talk about it all the time. Mattel, they are not a nonprofit. Shocker, I know. And they are going to re-release older figures that are worth a lot of money on the secondary market, be it because of rarity, people missed out, or whatever. We always know there's new collectors joining the hobby every day, and honestly, there's people jumping out of the hobby every single day. And Mattel, guess what? They want every dollar and every coin out of your wallet. We know that, and that's why they're coming here. We're getting a little bit of a re-release. I think there'll be some bells and whistles different. There's got to be. But the Mattel Ultimate Edition version of The Rock. Previously, this was an Amazon exclusive, and a lot of people do forget. It's funny how people forget about stuff. That the Ultimate line around the Shinsuke Nakamura wave with Bret Hart, in between there was so much peg warming that we were really worried, does this line have legs? Will this line continue? And luckily, Mattel hung in there, and we've seen it explode from there. That being said, though, we do see some fairly big discounts on Ultimates. If you're patient, you play a little bit of that long game. But The Rock is returning to the Ultimate Edition line with basically a re-release of the Amazon exclusive. Now, will we get a different head, a different shirt, something to make it just a little bit different? I hope Mattel does do that, but it very well could be just a straight re-release like we saw with Shawn Michaels and Brock Lesnar fairly recently. So if you missed this Rock, you're in luck. It's coming back out again for the masses. So there you go. The Rock Ultimate Edition coming back to the line for everybody. Then we saw some things that we saw last week. I guess a little better pictures here, better in close. And first one we saw here is the Samoan SWAT team. We talked about these guys on Friday, the Samoan SWAT team. This is how I was introduced to them as a small little kid with Paulie Dangerously, of course. One thing to note here on the Chase edition is obviously the floral pants going on. But one thing I really do like is Samu's hair color is different. Instead of being black like the regular release, you get a little bit of color in it, a little lightened it up a little bit. And then we get Paulie Dangerously again, looking great. I mean, this just looks like a 90s suit. This looks like something my dad would have worn back in his working days, in the working man days of the 90s. That's what he would have worn. And quite the cell phone there, if you remember cell phones being giant. Great for your Zach Morris customs. If you're looking at a custom Zach Morris, maybe take some face paint off a Sting figure and put a little clay in there. You're off to the races with a little Zach Morris. But I'm all in on that Paulie. Very excited for that one. And then we do get the traditional head shrinkers. And I love the extra accessories here, kind of those bamboo poles, the skirts. I don't even know what you call those kind of shin guard things. They're, you know, made out of bamboo or whatever they're made out of. But I think that entire package looks really, really good. That being said, I don't know if these guys will set the absolute world on fire, especially with them having a Chase edition in the same wave. I think you'll be able to track these guys down fairly easily. But you never know. You never know. As a lot of the Legends waves, like we talked about the Ultimates, have peg warmed fairly hard. So a lot of the Legends going down to $6.59 on clearance. I don't know. Will Target, there's eventually going to be a cutoff, and we're going to be caught by surprise, and Target's going to order half the amount they ordered of other sets. Could this be the set we see that in? I guess we'll find out very, very soon. But one of these days, it's going to happen sooner rather than later that the amounts of the Targets and Walmarts have been ordering is going to be cut back. And we're seeing that on the shelves right now. Everything is bursting at the seams for the holiday. It's going to be an interesting time in 2023, as we've been saying here on the channel. We also did see Rick Rude up close and personal here. Of course, this is the Ultimate Edition that's going to be paired with Jake Roberts. We'll talk about him in a little bit here. But Rick Rude looking really good, getting into one of his fabulous poses. Of course, if you guys remember his old LJN figure, possibly the worst figure of all time. There, I said it. It needed to be said. But very disappointing. It was so disappointing even to a little boy, Kyle, that I said, I'm done. I'm not picking up this Rick Rude. That's one LJN I don't need in my collection. I bought everything but that one at the time because there was nothing there in that Rick Rude for playability wise. And now it's going to be fixed the entire different direction as we'll have perfect Rick Rude right here. Now, hopefully this robe that's on him does not stain the figure. That has been a gripe for many of us. Hopefully we don't have issues with that. But an interesting Rick Rude in homage to the olden LJN ones we've seen before, but it does look really, really good. Anxious to see if we get any more head scans or just this one here. I guess we'll find out sooner than later. And then Jake Roberts is there. Jake, a little bit of a run back from the Elite, what was it, Target Legends wave from a year and a half ago or so. It looks like we do get a new snake mold, though. A lot of detail on the snake, which I really do like. It sounds like he'll be all bendy like most of the snakes. Well, I guess we really haven't had bendy wire snakes. They've just kind of form-fitted around him. So to have a full-on bendy wire snake is pretty good. I hope they use this going forward. If there is more Jake the Snake Roberts figures going forward, we'll see. But that looks really good. And then Jake, they're going to reuse some of the heads and stuff. And they're getting a lot of different body molds of these Ultimates. So the Ultimate line is turning into a little bit of the Elite line where they can reuse a lot of bodies and things like that. We also saw the bag with Jake Roberts, which you've seen plenty of times in the past. Now, here's an interesting one, and as of filming this video, I haven't heard the answer yet. We do know there's going to be a big Q&A session with Ringside and them. That'll probably post to their social medias in the next day or two, probably over the next week or so. But we did see the long-rumored, not 100% confirmed, but we knew it was coming somewhere, and we're finally getting it. It is the Razor Ramon Ultimate Edition. Much like the Rock we talked about earlier, this one feels a little bit like that because you can see the purple one there. Of course, that was one of the cool defining moments back in the day. That seems like a lifetime ago. They've had a lot of new collectors that want this. It's a way to bring that one back without putting it in the Elite line, so it's technically a different line, but I gotta believe that will devalue the defining moments a little bit, so I know some people get worked up about that, but at the end of the day, it's business, as we always say. But we're getting Razor Ramon in the purple garb, beautiful head scan on him, a new head scan for Razor, but one thing is really cool you can see in the background is an alternate attire Razor Ramon. So now, what does this mean? Does this mean now we're going to have Ultimate Chase editions? And I personally hope not. I like to just have two at a time. I don't want the extra headaches of the chase, tracking those down. And then at the same time as well, being a mint on card completionist for these, man, that's going to make the sets go faster and higher and bigger every set it comes out. So instead of chasing down just two figures at a time, which feels manageable, now you got the added stress of a chase and you got three you're looking for. So Not a huge fan of that coming into the Ultimate line. I don't know what other answer it could be, but besides this being a chase, and it looks like that's what they're going to do. And we talked about it a little bit before, and I think we talked about it in the toy news of the week, that I see Mattel knowing, and they're playing Nostradamus a little bit. I think some of the sales are going to be slowing down. We're already seeing that. Walmart's target's going to be cutting back a little bit, and I think Mattel is putting that business hat on, and they're putting it on tight. They're making sure it's not falling off, and they're saying to themselves, how do we get more sales? Well, here's a way to do it. We give a chase. Razor Ramon example. People love Razor. There's Razor Completionist. People are going to want to get 2. There's Completionist. They're going to want to get 2. There's going to be a lot of that going on. So somebody like me that has a loose set and a mint on box set, I need 4 Razor Ramones right here. That's a way to use the same moldings, the same molds, different paint job, of course, but getting people to buy the same thing multiple times. And I think that's what we're seeing here. We're seeing it with Brock Lesnar in Series 99 with Boogeyman as the other chase. We're seeing it with the head shrinkers we just talked about. It's a way to get people to buy more product of the same product that ships in the same waves. Very, very smart business move, but I gotta admit, it is a little bit frustrating as it is a little bit difficult to keep track of all that stuff and chase all that stuff down, no pun intended. But at the same time, it's also nice because let's say you really wanted this yellow and red Razor Ramon. Without there being a chase one, what are the odds of you getting that as an Ultimate anytime soon? I mean, you're looking at like 5 years down the line, something like that. So there's a give and take there. I'm not still totally wrapped my head around it, but boy, it's an interesting move, and we'll see how that plays out for them in 2023. But very cool. Those Razor Ramones look very nice. Of course, a lot of reuse between them, as I said earlier. And then new head sculpts. It'd be interesting if we get a third head sculpt. I wouldn't be shocked for that third head sculpt to be one we've had in the past as a way to, you know, save more money in there. And then a long-rumored Ultimate Edition that a lot of people have saying, when are we going to get this? And once again, this very well could be another Coliseum collection down the line. I don't think it could be, or I don't think it will be, but it wouldn't shock me. It will be interesting. But I got to think if we do get an Ultimate Edition in the Coliseum line of Andre, the first one we will get will be the one in the blue trunks with the big afro. I think that'll be the one we get first in the Ultimate line. And now that they're making an Ultimate body for Andre the Giant, as you can see in prototype form here, very easy to just basically give you a different head and take off the sculpting of the singlet, and man, there you go. You got an old school Andre the Giant, and I could see that very well easily happening. But very cool, an Ultimate Andre the Giant. This theoretically should be the largest Ultimate Edition of all time up till now. So I know a lot of people have been looking for that one. That should be a pretty good one. I got to think that'd be a pretty good seller as well. It definitely looks good. It'd be interesting to see what other heads and everything comes with this Andre the Giant. Then we keep it on the Ultimate Edition. A lot of people have been saying, why are we getting all these Hulk Hogan Ultimate Editions? What's going on with that? Well, we do know because Hulk Hogan sells. Yes, he did go to clearance. Everything goes to clearance. But Hulk Hogan moves the units, and that's why they put so many Ultimate Hulk Hogans out. But now we're finally branching out a little bit. We're getting a Seth Rollins Ultimate. A lot of people have been wanting this one. I wonder if this is going to be in the same set as Andre, as they're both in prototype form at this time. Not too bad. It'll be interesting to see, once again, what other heads will we get with Seth Rollins. I'm sure we'll get at least one new one, as we see here, but we'll probably get another one that's we've had in the past, and we'll get some reuse out of that. But I'm here for that. It looks to be, correct me if I'm wrong, but that new torso looks to be a new torso for Ultimate Edition. It very well could be the Rick Rude one, actually. But you guys got to know they got to be getting the most out of these molds. So we're going to get a lot of guys in the Ultimate line, and boy, has the Ultimate line exploded, as we've seen. They are really, really growing out this line, and that's what you get with Seth Rollins. And then you get one I'm excited about, my old brother in arms, old AJ Styles, good friend of the channel, AJ Styles. Get a soft, good shirt, nice vest, looks like a new head sculpt, looking really good. Gotta imagine, once again, we'll get some other heads with AJ, probably some we've seen before, maybe a possible another new one, but a really, really good looking AJ. I love the white and blue on here, really, really does pop. AJ Styles, one of the top names in the WWE, definitely deserves an Ultimate. I'm here for that. You guys know that. So that looks really good. And then we turned our attention next to, I believe this is supposed to be Elite 101, if I remember correctly, Cody Rhodes. So we did just recently get a basic Cody Rhodes. It's on ringside now. It's probably sold out. It's a pretty popular basic, as you can imagine. But I think first of the year, you'll probably see that at Walmart's, Targets of the world. And then after that, we should be seeing Elite 101 as the first true Elite Cody Rhodes figure since he has returned to the WWE, of course. And then that Ultimate, when's that going to ship? I think it was supposed to be next summer. That seems crazy, but I think that Ultimate Cody is supposed to be sometime in the summertime, maybe May. So this will be our true deluxe Cody, our more upscale Cody we get in the WWE line since his return. And this one does look fabulous. Obviously, the head sculpt looks really good, but then you get the jacket, very similar to his Supreme figure, which is really crazy. And I would not be shocked by the time this hits Walmart, we very possibly could see something that I don't know if we've ever seen before, is a wrestler from two different organizations on the pegs at the same time in basically the same exact year. So that is going to be something to watch out for, because I do think that Walmart Supreme will end up peg warming, and I think you'll be able to find that for a little bit once it works through the holidays, that kind of stuff. And I do think you'll see this obviously at Walmart, and very well could see those two. We talk about the triple Lando all the time. I can't wait to see the double Cody and get that on film. That's going to be a groundbreaking moment, and that'll go immediately off to the Guinness Book of World Records when I do get that shot. It's going to be like catching Bigfoot is what it's going to be like. But this Cody looks fabulous. Cody, good friend of the channel as well. Shout out to old Code Man. But yeah, very, very cool. And then we turn our attention to the Ruthless Aggression line. A little bit more clearer shots here of Eric Bischoff. Of course, a Walmart exclusive. Very cool. I think this looks great. I'm very excited for future Eric Bischoffs. There's about 5 different ones I would like, and it'll be interesting. I got to think Eric could be one of those guys that easily could fit into one of the Build-A-Figure lines down the road as well. So there's a lot of different uses for him. Of course, the Ruthless Aggression era makes a lot of sense. Build-A-Figure makes a lot of sense. A traditional Elite in the traditional line makes some sense. I don't know if an Ultimate makes any sense, but maybe a basic might make some sense, but it does look really good, and it's a very easy base body. If you're looking for just a street level person, you can pop any other head on this, and it's a very plain Jane body, so that should be great for customizers, great for you guys if you want people in the crowd, things like that. I think that is really cool. I do love the addition of the alternate head here for Eric Bischoff. We talked about that in last Friday's video. Need to get a correct body for it, kind of the garb, the officiant garb or something. But I do love the idea of this, and it's one of those crazy ones. 10 years from now, when you got a thing of heads, and you say, who does this head go to? That's going to stump a lot of people down the line. People are going to be very, very confused what figure this goes to. But I do like the looks of that one. Continuing on through this aggression, we do see the Undertaker. A rehash of, gosh, was it Elite 59, 57, something like that. A little bit of fresh paint on this one, and it is basically a re-release. But you do get the pinless joints, all that fun stuff with this one. But this is my favorite era of The Undertaker. I know it's sacrilegious to most of you guys out there. We've discussed that ad nauseum on the channel, but I'm always excited to get another biker taker. And it looks good for what it is, and I think it'll sell okay. Now, here is an exciting one that reminds me of Jack's Classic Superstars. Of course, the 3-pack with Ric Flair back in the day and Bobby Heenan. It is announcer, maybe quasi-manager Mr. Perfect is what this is. And I have to assume this is a Build-A-Figure. I wouldn't be shocked if this wasn't the SummerSlam Build-A-Figure for next year, as we do know all the pay-per-view waves are going to have a Build-A-Figure. That torso with the suit jacket just screams Build-A-Figure to me. And it'll get reuse out of that Mr. Perfect head. But man, I'm here for it. This is awesome. This works. It's a classic guy, something we want. Keep these Build-A-Figures coming. Very excited for this Mr. Perfect. Love the back of his coat. I think that looks really good. And then we turn our attention to Zeus, and I would not be shocked once again if this was part of the SummerSlam wave. We did hear that Zeus was coming to Elite form, which kind of surprised me, but then I took that business step back, as we do know the San Diego Comic-Con Ultimate, that wasn't for everybody. Not everybody had a chance at that. Obviously, it was a higher price point, so this makes a heck of a lot of sense. I'm sure there'll be a little bit more accessories with this than what we see here, but it'll be just different enough for people that got the Ultimate that I think you'll probably need this one. And like I said, I do think this one will be in that SummerSlam Build-A-Figure Mr. Perfect wave. That's my guess. I'm calling it right now. But a good-looking Zeus. And then we got Dolph Ziggler, and he very well could be in that SummerSlam wave as well. I am the worst at knowing, outside of really, really ones that everybody knows, I am the worst at looking at somebody's gear and saying, oh, that's from No Way Out 2021 or whatever it is. And I couldn't tell you on this Dolph Ziggler, but I'm very happy to get Dolph back in the line. He is a guy that has obviously been in the WWE for a long time. I mean, well over a decade, I think, at this point. He's had a lot of figures, but not enough figures to represent his time there. We've had quite the drought outside of some recent basics. haven't really had anything from Dolph. So I do think this will be a really, really hot seller. It'll be interesting to see what he comes with. And I believe we've seen this head sculpt before. It might even have been his last Elite. But it'll be interesting to see how this one dresses up. But the pink looks really good on this one. I do like the looks of old Dolph Ziggler there. Then we turn our attention to Retro Madness. And retros have been interesting. We've talked about it every single Saturday for like the last 2 months in the toy news video I do every single Saturday, and retro fever just seems to be dying by the day. I hear a lot of chirping all over that, you know, I'm not into retros anymore. There's too many retros. I'm bailing out. I really like the Superstars waves. There's only 4 of those in a wave, like 3 times a year. Easier to manage, easier to control, and let's be honest, I love the Wrestling Traders of the world. I love Zombie Sailor, but man, when you're looking at $40 to $50 with tax and shipping per figure for these little retro figures, it's really tough to justify for the average Joe. Heck, if it's tough for me to justify, a guy that collects a lot of things, it's going to be tough to justify for a lot of people. So the retro wave is really interesting. We've seen the Mattel Creation ones recently. A little bit mixed results. I think that's fair. But I'm hoping this one sells well. These are 4 heavy hitters. They are exclusive to Ringside, so you have to think they're not making as big a quantities as Mattel Creations, I would assume. I guess I don't know for sure. But it'll be interesting. It's interesting to see the return of 2 packs to the retro card. So I think that is really cool as well. But of course, you got X-Pac, you got Kevin Nash, you got Scott Hall, you got Hulk Hogan. Hogan looks to be the best to me out of this one. Then I'll probably go Scott Hall, then Nash, then X-Pac. Nash looks like he needs to be taller, and they're using some of that Braun Strowman body, it looks like, on that one. But very, very cool to get these guys. I do honestly kind of wish they would have all matched in one color or the other. I think that would have looked better for display purposes. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a repaint wave with the opposites down the line, but we'll see. But I'm happy to see those. I gotta think those are going to go up for pre-order at Ringside fairly soon. I would have to think that. And I do like that they're coming in that 4-pack kind of box that we've seen with the other retros from Mattel Creations. So they will line up on display. If that's your thing, you can display the boxes like the other ones. So I think that is fairly cool. Now we turn our attention to another basic. First basic we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a few basics. Did you guys know I dabble in the basics with characters that are first time in the lines, people we don't get very often, suited figures, things like that. And this is one of those ones that's going to hit the bucket for me. Commander Aziz, remember him? Only reason I remember him is because he was a giant, and you know Kyle, he loves his giants. I love my giants. I love my little people too. Don't want to leave the little people out, but I love the giants. Looks like we're getting some use out of the Omos body. And Commander Aziz, that's all but gone and dead. So it's going to be one of those first time in the line, last time in the lines here. And those are always fun as well. So this is a must-have for me. Love a good big figure like that. And it looks really good for what it is. Then we're getting Roman Reigns, the old needle mover. You know how I do that? It says it on his shirt. Yes, it does. But he does got the red shoes, which I wouldn't be opposed to grabbing those red shoes. I'm going to pass on this Roman, but you guys know Roman's at the tippy top right now. They got to have him out in all the different lines. Got to have him out there for the kids. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, first time in the line as basics, and we see that a lot. Usually a lot of the females, especially, you get them in basic form. Down the line, you do get them in elite form. Gotta have these. Gigi Dolan looks good. Doesn't quite look like the character she represents on TV, though. It almost looks like an earlier version, so I'm not sure on that one. And then JC looks pretty good. Almost looks like a Chelsea Green figure rehashed a little bit, but a lot of people are going to want these two, of course, to go with Mandy Rose. And then the one that looks really good to me is this Aaliyah figure. So this looks really good. I think they really killed it on the head sculpt here. All 3 of those going to be a must-have for me. I'm picking those guys up day one. You female collectors out there, the old Lumberjillville, you guys are going to be excited over there. Check out Lumberjillville if you're into female wrestling figures. That's all that guy does. That's all he does. He's checking out, so he's going deep on the female figures. But we got 3 right there for him, and I know he'll be a day one reviewer of those guys. Now here's one that I'm honestly probably one of the most excited. Top 5 excitement out of this video. This is right at the list, and Johnny Knoxville's at the top of it here. I love Johnny Knoxville. I've loved Johnny Knoxville since I was in high school. I'm in on anything Johnny Knoxville. I love his movies. Obviously loved Jackass back in the day, and I loved his WrestleMania thing. I was very excited for him to be involved in wrestling, and it always gave me the Andy Kaufman vibes. So I'm a huge fan of Andy Kaufman when I was a really little kid, and I loved his stuff with Jerry Lawler. Check out those documentaries. I always tell you guys that. But I'm here for this Johnny Knoxville. I love the small body. You could very easily make an Andy Kaufman custom out of this with a different head. I love it that he gets a cape. He's got the red and white attack. I mean, it just looks absolutely awesome. Just an amazing figure. Love the back of the cape. There's Johnny Knoxville, world champion. Just very, very cool. And then it looks like he's going to come with that big mouse trap that they used at WrestleMania. Just the coolest thing ever. Just a slam dunk. One I'm excited for. Yes, we've had the Rob Gronkowskis. We've had the Mr. T's. We got the Logan Pauls coming. But man, Johnny Knoxville, that's one I can totally justify. I'm excited to get that one. And then you can't have Johnny Knoxville without Sami Zayn. So Sami Zayn coming to the Elite line once again. A little bit outdated Sami Zayn. Obviously, we know him feeling real oozy these days. But very cool to get this moment in time to put those two together. That does feel right. It would be great if they were a 2-pack. I don't think that's in the cards, but we'll get that one. But I know a lot of people are waiting for the Uso version of Sami Zayn. That one's going to be a hot seller out there. And Sami Zayn, a lot of people have been sleeping on for many years. I've always said I've always been a big fan of Sami Zayn. Happy to see him get a lot of love these days, for sure. Then we go back to Jake the Snake Roberts. We already talked about this one a little bit ago, but a very, very good one. It is an upgrade from the old Legends one, as we talked about. So that does look good. And then we get to another WrestleMania one, which really gives me throwback Jax vibes. If you guys remember back in, gosh, I don't even want to know what year, 2004, let's call it. There was a Shawn Michaels dressed as Hulk Hogan in the Ruthless Aggression WrestleMania wave. And that's what this one feels like. It's Kevin Owens as Stone Cold Steve Austin. So it really does give those vibes of that Shawn Michaels dressed as Hulk Hogan figure. I'm here for that. I love moment in time figures, and I love off the beaten path figures. We've got a lot of Kevin Owens over the years. This one feels different. I love that they even gave him that it looks like he's got the skull cap on. You got the little line there that you can see. I love that attention to detail because it would have been very easy just to give him a bald head and call it good. And he comes with the Austin 316 shirt, which very easily could be used for a Stone Cold shirt or whatever else you want it to be used for down the line. Then we saw Cody Rhodes again. I believe this is the same Cody Rhodes we saw a little bit earlier without his coat on, but man, he does look good. This very well possibly could be a chase version too. I believe he is 2 per case and 101 is what the rumors are, and I could see him being a very easy chase, much like the Brock Lesnar we saw upcoming here fairly soon, but a very good looking Cody Rhodes. And then a guy that got a few figures, kind of went away for a while and seems to be having a resurgence here. And we got Intercontinental Champion Ricochet. So Ricochet coming back to the line. A fairly good looking outfit. Is this Harlem Heat inspired outfit? It kind of reminds me of Harlem Heat. But it does look really good. All the Ricochet figures look really good. I just love it when they give him those extra long Ricochet finger hands, though. I wonder if he'll have those included. Who knows? But a very good looking Ricochet. Then we go to Elite 100, and that's one a lot of people are excited about, and it is quite the milestone. As we all know, most toy lines do not make it to 100 series. I mean, the basic line is out of control. They're up to like 140 now, but the Elite line hitting Elite 100, and it's a good set. I don't know if I would call it a great set, and we talked about that when it was first announced, but now we're getting some of this stuff shown live in color right here. And Andre the Giant is very cool. Got the rock and wrestling vibes from the old school cartoon back in the day. Andre in his best Miami Vice look is what it looks like. But I really do like the looks of that one. I like both of them. Both of them are winning for me. Does come with the chain for the Hulkster. Does come with a brand new title belt, which I think is really cool. So you Andre fans, you rock and wrestling fans, just a lot of fans are going to be very happy with this Andre the Giant, I have a feeling. Then we do get Becky Lynch in Elite 100. I don't know if that was really warranted. I think they're trying to mix it up with all eras. I get that a little bit. I don't know if we were quite prepared for this Becky Lynch. I'm not really feeling the head sculpt on this one all that much. She does come with title belt. Does come with a new leather jacket, Polly Pocket style. I don't know. This could be the weak link of the set. And it's not just because it's a female. I think there's just something off with this figure. But this is an early prototype. Things could change, as we do know. But there's Becky Lynch. One I'm really excited for, Stunning Steve Austin. I've told it before, the Dangerous Alliance era, one of my all-time favorite eras in professional wrestling. Stunning Steve, I followed him in the GWF, into WCW. Absolutely loved him. He was him and Warrior were right there as like my favorite wrestlers at the time. Him and Sting in WCW and Vader and the Steiners. There were so many good guys, but Stunning Steve was right at the top of my list of favorites. I remember being so disappointed when he came in as the ringmaster. Who'd have ever thought he would have turned into what he turned into? But I absolutely love Stunning Steve. So I want this. The belt's fantastic. The robe's fantastic. Man, those trunks. I'll never forget those trunks. Just a really, really good figure, except the head looks just a little bit off to me in the face department. Maybe it'll look better in hand. Usually that's what ends up happening. You get it in hand and it usually looks a little bit better. I'm hoping that's the case with this Steve Austin, because this is like a bucket list figure for me. Get me that whole Dangerous Alliance. Get me the old school Medusa, which they very easily could do. We got Paul E coming. That could easily fit in here. I don't think we're going to get Arn Anderson anytime soon. Not sure if we get Zbyszko ran back. We got Rick Rhodes, so there's a possibility one of these days we could maybe fill out our Dangerous Alliance roster. Man, I'd be here for that. I know some of the others would out there as well. Then, much like Becky Lynch, John Cena doesn't really fit to me. It fits in ways because he has defined a generation, let's be honest. And of course, he's a big fan of the channel, as we all know.
Kyle Peterson, who is known in some circles as the Larry Bird of sports entertainment figurine collecting. Well, this is John Cena, a.k.a. John Cena, who is known in some circles as the John Stockton of fashion. The shorts get shorter all the time.
So John definitely deserves a spot, but we get so many John Cena figures, it doesn't feel as special as if it was maybe something else or a first time in the line or something like that. And like I said, nothing against Cena, but I just would have rather seen something different, something more wow-esque in the line here. But John Cena fans will be very happy to see this one. Then we get Rey Mysterio, and a lot like Becky, a lot like Cena, we're looking at Rey again. I mean, nothing against Rey. I love masks. Kids love masks. We all love masks. We all love Rey. We want to put him in our pocket, take him home, feed him. We want to just hang out with Rey Mysterio. But I like that it's an old school Rey. It's a throwback Rey. That feels right. It's good. Just, we get so many Reys. I wanted 100 to feel special. I wanted it to feel, how great would have 100 been if it was all first time in the line guys or something. But it is what it is. Another Rey Mysterio. I can see Becky, Rey, and Stone Cold kind of being the, or I should say, let me walk that back. Not Stone Cold, Stunning Steve, but I can see Rey. I don't know, even Stunning Steve. There might be people that don't want that. The Hollywood Blonde one, I don't think set the world on fire either. But Rey, Becky, and Cena, those are the three weak links to me in the set. I know that's just one man's opinion, but for me, that's the weak link there. But I do like the Rey, at least. And then we get Rock, another one that really belongs a lot of the Cena category here. A little bit play on it, as we've seen kind of this Rock jersey before, but we got the colors flipped around. Instead of the red, we got some blue going on. Beautiful new title belt. That's going to excite a lot of people that collect the belts along with these. And then I believe that's a new head scan, or it could have been one of those old Ultimate head scans. I don't got it committed to memory. But The Rock, once again, another guy that I would have liked seen in another line, but definitely fits into Series 100, so it makes sense to me. Now we get excited. Now, once again, we go back to the Jax days where we had a figure pulled out from underneath us that we really wanted. Mr. America Hulk Hogan. A very cool idea. I love it. We get all these Hulkster figures all the time, and I love we're getting something totally different, a little bit more wacky, but still Hulk Hogan. So this works for me. I love Mr. America. Looks like we get the bandanas, or the boas, I should say. The boas in different colors. The American theme. This would be a perfect 4th of July unboxing on the channel. Something tells me we'll have this before 4th of July, though. But a masked Hogan is very cool, very good looking. And then I love the new head sculpt with the mask kind of flipped up, and the old it's a secret, which he did do after the house shows, and after SmackDown would go off the air, he'd flip it up and show the audience and say that. Like, just a great, great gimmick. I loved it. A very cool one. However, I gotta put some negative spin on this one. Is where's the hot dog tan? You guys know I love a hot dog off the griller, and I want Hogan to be hot dog tan in this one, because he had that leathery hot dog tan skin during this time. So I don't know. Do they only save the hot dog tan for the Ultimates and special releases like the ringside 2-pack Mega Powers? Why are we not getting the hot dog tan here? I wish I would have asked that question to Steve Ozier and Bill, because they're doing a Q&A, and ringside did solicit questions. I did ask one question. We'll see if they answer it. But I would have loved to say, what's up the Hogan skin tone color? Why are we all over the place? How do we get the hot dog tan? I need to figure out paintbrushing and get the hot dog tan. I need to call up Dave Wheeler. Dave Wheeler, can you turn my Hogans into hot dogs? That's what I need to find out. But I do like this Hogan. Even if he is a little light skin toned, I'm still here for it. But then we jump over once again. We go to the Hulkster, and he's got the hot dog tan. But if I'm looking at this correctly, you can check the ab crunch. There's no elite ab crunch. This seems to be an ultimate. So are we really getting Desert Storm Hulk Hogan? Is that what we're getting? Of course, he had those matches with Sergeant Slaughter after WrestleMania 7. Yeah, WrestleMania 7. He had those matches with the Sergeant Slaughter, and then that led all the way up to Sergeant Slaughter, Colonel Mustafa, General Adnan versus Hulk Hogan, and of course the Ultimate Warrior. So we better get an Ultimate Warrior to match this Hulk Hogan. I hope that's in the cards. It'd be great to relive SummerSlam. What was that, 91 SummerSlam? I love this Hogan. Very, very cool. Very outside the box thinking. This is what I want to see going forward. I absolutely love the looks of this one. Very, very cool. And this is one of those ones, too, that if you're a Matt and Brian fan, of course, Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, you can very easily turn this into some Stomp in Paradise figures. Pop one of their head on it, and man, you're off to the races right there. And once again, we do get the hot dog tan skin on the Hulkster here. Just looks right. Just looks right. Need the tape fists, though. We need some tape fists. I believe he was taping up them fists back in the day there. But I absolutely love that Hogan. And then we turn our attention to, we're going to hot dog tan, away from a hot dog, back to no hot dog tan. What are we doing? What are we doing? So we get the Legends one that's upcoming. That's in the Paul Lee Head Shrinkers wave. I believe it was Uncensored 96. Hulk Hogan here. I think that's what it's going to be. In the Elite line and the Target exclusive Legends line. But unfortunately, no hot dog tan. Missing the hot dog tan. What are we doing? We need the hot dog tan. It's a must-have for the Hulkster. We already beat that to death. Then we're going back to modern-day wrestling here. We got Sonya Deville, and it's been a while since we've had a Sonya Deville Elite. Of course, we all remember that Target exclusive that set the world on fire. It was pretty hard to get for a while. Now we're getting Sonya Deville again, and a good-looking Sonya Deville. I don't know if it's going to set the world on fire. It's going to be somewhere between Rio and Nyla Rose and Britt Baker, maybe. I don't know how well this will sell, but she is returning to the Elite line. Then we go back to the Ruthless Aggression line with the Stone Cold. We talked about this in last week's reveal video, how it's kind of loosely based off that Jax figure. Last time ever in the line, question mark. We're getting that Stone Cold in the Ruthless Aggression era. And I believe that's it. I believe that's it. Looking at my handy-dandy iPad, that's the end of the show. So, man, I was very surprised at the amount of stuff they showed here today at Hogan's Beach Shop. I was expecting, Black Friday. I said, well, they're going to just show it all there. There might be the next Ringside Collectibles exclusive, something like that shown. But no, they blew it out of the absolute water here. Showed us all kinds of cool stuff, a lot of upcoming stuff to be excited about. I like the out-of-the-box thinking. You guys always know, I say it on the channel all the time, constant learnings, constant improvement. That's what they're doing at Mattel. They're taking learnings, trying to move some things, except for the hot dog tan. They haven't learned on that one yet. But they're really trying to go deeper in there to satisfy the long-time hardcore collectors like me and probably you if you're watching this, but also throwing out those bones for the kids out there and the people that are just by-the-way collectors that maybe don't get everything. So a little bit for everybody right here, and that's a good thing. That's how you keep the business moving forward. So I'm very excited about the reveals today, but what say you guys out there in YouTube land? What are you most excited for? What is the one you want the most? Man, some of those Hogans look good. Johnny Knoxville looks good. Stunning Steve Austin I'm excited about. Andre in Series 100 looks like a good one. I'm excited for some of these new Ultimates. A lot to like, a lot to be excited for. What more could you want? I do think this is it, though. I think this is basically Ringside Fest for this year. I don't think that's officially been said, but I wanted to throw that out. So let me know in the comments your thoughts, what you thought was the best reveal today in this very video. And then, of course, you made it this far. You might as well like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell, as we got videos every single day and then some. Maybe too many videos, maybe too many, but if you want even more videos, head on over to the Patreon channel, link in the description below, where you get early access to videos, bonus videos, Q&As, giveaways, pizza reviews, all kinds of stuff, and best of all, you do support the channel. You can also support the channel, ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson, and then don't forget to follow me on social media, SirPaul64 over there on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Hogan Beach Shop reveals with Ringside Collectibles, I'm Kyle, and I'll see you guys all real soon. Then we get first time in the line, Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, first time in the line as basics.